Odapanamnan niwi asema manadu goere wabanong. Odapanaman niwi asema manadu goere jawanong. Odapanan niwi asema manadu goere nengabianan. Odapanan niwi asema manadu goere giwaden. Odapanan niwi asema mama aki. Odapanan niwi asema gitche manadu. Odapanan niwi asema kina inda wamog. And Boozhoo! Welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. The Agwaching episode. The outside episode. I was just offering some tobacco to the directions, the 4 directions, to the spirits of the 4 directions, to Mother Earth, to Gitche Manadu, and all my relations. And then I'm just going to take this little bit of tobacco here. I'm going to put it here in this little bush here. Just some place where no one's going to step on it or, go to the bathroom on it or anything. Not you don't always have to smoke tobacco to have a tobacco ceremony. But that's our Ojibwe phrase of the day. Odapanan is accept. Niwi is my. Asema, tobacco. And that asema, there's a lot of different ways of saying tobacco. Some dialects will say osema with like an O. I'm surprised that northern Minnesota doesn't say osema. Because we say everything else with a long O. Oh, I'm from Minnesota. Don't you know? You'd think we'd offer osema, but we say asema around here. But then up in Net Lake, they drop the vowels altogether. They just say sema. Odapanan niwi sema. So however your elders say it is the right way to say it. So yeah. Agwaching outside. Oh, it's a beautiful day, and I can't believe how quickly the leaves came back, huh, honey? I know, can you believe it? It's almost hard to believe. Yesterday it was snowing, and today it's like summer. Yeah, that's amazing. But you can't offer tobacco from inside the house. So we come outside, and let's see who's here. Does this ruin the effect if I look at the computer? I'm gonna pretend I'm on my cell phone. Oh, let's see who's here in the live stream. Wisani? Oh, hey, Wisani's here, sweetie. Boozhoo, Wisani. And Jessica. Boozhoo, Jessica. Jessica's here. Boozhoo, Jessica. And Daniel Black. Daniel says, Boozhoo, thanks for the WOTD. I always wondered what you said. Oh, word of the day. Yeah, we say that, asema. I mean, I don't know. If Ojibwe speakers need to decide on one dialect, if we have any hope of communicating. But I guess English is the same way, I mean, you go down south and sometimes their accents are so thick you can hardly understand what they're saying. And then you go to England. And then, I mean, yeah, they're the same words, but like, how nobody else can seem to pronounce our R's. Let's get in the car. The car. Oh, the car? Jim is here. Boozhoo, Jim. We're just outside here on this beautiful summer day. The seasons really change quickly here in Bemidji. One day it's fall. Nah, I'll be honest with you guys. We're actually not outside. We're on the start ship Enterprise. You'll appreciate this, Jim. We're on the holodeck. Computer. End program. Today's Ojibwe word of the day. Holodeck. What's the Ojibwe word for holodeck, sweetie? I don't think there is a Ojibwe word for holodeck. I'm sure the Ojibwe speakers just call it a holodeck. Yeah. Boy, it sure comes in handy here, huh? Yeah, it does. You know, because then we can have a different background for whatever show we want. Yeah. Odapanan niwi asema. Odapanan niwi holodeck. Accept my holodeck. You want to accept me? You accept my holodeck. That's all I'm saying. This is my safe space. You know? So yeah, the holodeck. Holodeck is a can of worms invented by Star Trek. In theory, it's you've been doing your 12-hour shift on the bridge of the Enterprise. You're like, oh wow, finally quitting time. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna have 2 beers just to relax, and then I'm gonna go hit the holodeck. And you go on the holodeck, and you can just program anything your imagination can possibly think of. Oh, let's reenact that old Sherlock Holmes novel. You know. And of course, every teenage boy goes, you know what I would do? My holodeck would be the Playboy Mansion or whatever. And but then, like everything in the Enterprise, something goes wrong, and you end up, oh crap, we're stuck in the holodeck. And wouldn't you know it, this is the one day where the safety protocols aren't going to work. If they shoot you in here, you're going to die. And so they can have a whole new episode where they're not even in space. Oh, we're in the Wild West. And you'd have, Worf. I'm not a merry man. I don't want to wear these tights. I am a proud Klingon. But that's what was cool about Star Trek, never mind that they perpetuated the whole outer space myth. But they would tackle stuff like being bicultural. Worf was he was Klingon, but he was raised by Earthlings, and so as a grown-up, he was always trying to relearn his cultural ways. He was like an Indian guy who wants to learn his culture and his language. When he goes to college, he's like, I grew up in the city. I never knew my way. And so once in a while, I guess to go back to the home world, the reservation. And then, But Worf was interesting because he never felt like he belonged anywhere. He didn't belong with the Klingons. They were too hardcore for Worf. Worf was still kind of he'd wear the uniform, kept his hair in a braid. He wasn't all wild like the Klingons who grew up in Klingon or whatever. Spock too. Spock was a half-breed. He was a thin blood, whatever you want to call him. He was half Vulcan and half human. His father was a Vulcan and his mother was a human. And so, he always kind of leaned in to his Vulcan identity, He never wanted people. I think you would have insulted Spock if you called him a half Vulcan. He wouldn't have denied it, but he identified as a Vulcan, not as a part Vulcan. But where was I going with that Star Trek? Worf. Oh, and a can of worms that the holodeck was, because I wasn't wrong. 5-year mission. It was like a 5-year series of, tragic, bungles, things where the ship almost crashes and everybody almost dies. And then every week they sorted out some hair. Daniel Black says, I'm Worf then? I'm not so sure. You might be Worf. I think you could be. What if Daniel Black was Worf? That'd be awesome. Yeah. Worf was cool. Worf had a cute little kid for a while. Wonder what would have happened to that. Absent father Worf. Oh, got a job in the military. But anyway, so they'd go to the holodeck, and then they could put on costumes and reenact anything. So, of course, you know where I would be on my first holodeck trip. Where would you go? Oh, I'd program in Dances with Wolves. And then I'd go buffalo hunting with Kevin Costner and Graham Greene. I'd be out there on the prairie, riding the range, hunting buffalo. And then I would be in KISS. I'd program, 1977 KISS, Dodger Stadium tour, the Destroyer tour, the Love Gun tour. It's basically just a magic room. But all right, let's go back to let's go home. Computer, run program. On Star Trek they always had like impossibly long letters that nobody would ever remember. Run protocol 789 Q24 stardate 653425 dot, whatever. And dot baby Yoda. Oh, and here we are. Back with our cozy fire. This makes more sense. It's not really summer out here yet. It's still, it's spring. The sun's coming out. The snow's melting. Most of the snows are gone. It hasn't completely gone, but you can see the dirt again. And, pipes aren't going to freeze. But a little fire in the morning is still nice for ambiance. Not to get too fancy or anything. Grieving Turtle's here. Boozhoo, Grieving Turtle. Nice to see you. I was going to look up a cruise ship. I also want to say miigwech for your lovely letter. And I might have to give you a call here maybe this afternoon. But, yeah, we really appreciate you. But I didn't get around to the check in tomorrow. We might be on a cruise ship tomorrow. With our new holodeck, we can be almost anywhere, huh, sweetie? That's right. So how are you this morning? Oh, I'm doing great. It's Monday morning. Monday, la 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 la. Yeah, it's Monday morning. I used to hate Mondays, man. Mondays are the worst. I know, especially when you were like working in the print shop. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I would so not want to go to my job that on Sunday nights I would start to get bummed out. I'd get just depressed. And I'd be all like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to have to start the work week. And it'd be a whole exercise in gratitude and prayer. Just not to get all crabby and depressed for having to go to a job I was lucky to have. Used to really feel like I was in a tough spot because I didn't want to go to my job. I never wanted to have a job. But I was always terrified not to have a job. And I was always afraid of losing my job, even though I hated the job, because I needed the money. But the job's never paid enough to ever relax on the money. So you're constantly worried about if you're going to make it from paycheck to paycheck. So you would drink because you're so stressed. And then the drinking would make you waste so much money in this terrible lifestyle. You'd be blowing money on beer and then bad food because you're drunk and you're like, I'm just going to order a pizza. Who cares? And then you wake up the next day and you're all hungover. And then you really hate your job. Got to go into... And man, to be hungover and then work in a print shop is really rugged because it's loud. You put in your ear plugs to protect your ears, but that doesn't cure a hangover. Thanks. Those are back in the good old days. And it was just a terrible cycle, You dig a rut for yourself when you're that kind of working class, drinking paycheck to paycheck, working for the weekend culture. On today's discussion about Native American culture, we're going to talk about working class culture, blue collar culture. The redskin blue collar and the white trying to stay in the black so you don't, in your bills, whatever, the rat race. It can be tough, There's a lot of people that get sucked into that. And I certainly was. You go to college so you can get a good job. And you want to get a good job so you can pay off your college tuition. Got to buy a car so you can get to the job so you can make enough money so you can pay for the car that'll help you get to your job. You want to be happy. So you think, well, what are the things that make me unhappy? Not having enough money, being stressed, not having a girlfriend, or whatever. Well, how can I, become happy then? Well, get a job, get some money. How am I going to get a girlfriend? Get a nice car, start buying stuff. And now you're in debt. See, the job gets really important. Then the stress goes up. You're like, well, I got all these bills. What if I lose this job that I hate doing and now I'm maxed to the limit? I make just enough to cover rent and food and my bills and then, start all over again. That's how they get you. Weethanese singing, everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody needs a second chance. You want to play in my heart. La-di-da-di-di-da-da. Yeah. I just wanted to get out. And they get you in deeper and deeper. And God help you if you get married and have children. And then they go to college. And you're expected to put in, even the poorest family was expected to give a minimum contribution when I was working in colleges of, what was it, $5,000 a year? You're like, holy man. So parents take out loans to contribute. That was just, like financial aid wouldn't even begin to cover. They go, oh yeah, this is how much it's going to cost you for 1 year, $30,000 or something. Oh, but good news, we have a grant, $2,000 off. And, work study. Oh, here's an Indian scholarship for $2,000. Should cover your books for 1 year. And then they get you into debt. And you keep going, well, I've gone too far now. I got 3 years in college. If I drop out now, I'm really in trouble. Because it doesn't help you to have 3 years of college, and you got to get that piece of paper. I got mine framed over there and sticking on the wall with a tack. In the background's a picture of Paul Stanley. I don't really care about it. I mean, I guess I'm kind of proud of getting through college to prove I could run a rat race, but at the same time, it was kind of a dumb idea. Taking out loans I knew I would never pay back. Sorry, federal government and taxpayers who somehow paid for my defaulted loans or something. Probably shouldn't be talking about this. The AI is going, oh, we found another one. Garnish his wages. So, how are you guys this morning? Do you have to get up and get going? Oh, 7:20. You only have 40 minutes until you got to start working. If you're at a school, probably got 10 minutes. You know, you got to get to the school by 7:30 in the morning because then the buses come in. Need some adults there to watch the kids. You know, get your coat on, put on your boots. You're going to change into your shoes when you get to work because they get all muddy. And start it all over again. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go to learn some stuff and then we quit. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. La 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 la. The 7 dwarves. The 7 little people. I mean, what's with the... Dwarves are a real thing, right? Like, you can be born a dwarf. It doesn't give you magic powers or anything. It's like being a little person. What they used to call a midget before they decided to cancel that word. But there were 7 dwarves. Was it Sleeping Beauty and the 7 dwarves? Snow White and the 7 dwarves? What was it, Snow White or Sleeping Beauty? I think it was Snow White and the 7 dwarves. Snow White. Oh, Chimokaman, we would have called her. The long knife. So, white girl. Does she fall asleep too? What's her deal? Let's see. Snow White and the 7 dwarves. There were 7 dwarves. Did she... You know what? Now I'm thinking maybe that's the same movie. I can't remember. Do you guys remember? Is Snow White a different movie than Sleeping Beauty? I think it is. When does Snow White eat a poison apple and it makes her fall asleep? That sounds right. And then the 7 dwarves have to go kill the witch or something? I don't know. I think I'm finally over Disney movies. You know, they're involved in everything that I do. That's so suspicious. You know, I was watching some video the other day, had me convinced that Hitler was actually secretly Walt Disney. That he came over and got a new identity. Started working with NASA. You know, all those NASA guys are just Nazi scientists who came over after World War II. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. NASA was started by the Nazis, and it means, in Hebrew, to deceive. That's interesting. Proud. Jessica Gonzalez, Boozhoo, says, yeah, they're different stories. Sleeping Beauty touches a spindle on a spinning wheel, and that puts her to sleep. Okay, Sleeping Beauty touches a spindle, and then she goes to sleep. And she gets woken up by Prince Charming. That's quite a name to live up to. You got to be really charming if your name's going to be Prince Charming. And he, kind of cops a feel while she's asleep and wakes her up. Hey, do you mind? I didn't consent to this. I was asleep. And 7 dwarves. You're sleepy and grumpy and horny. I forget the other guys. Racist. There was the one dwarf who didn't like, people of other races. He was intolerant-y. There's a... Daniel Black says, up early to take my little girls to school. All right, Daniel. You'll be a good dad. I don't want to see those. You have one job. To be a good dad to those kids. Keep your girls off the pole. That's the only thing. That was like what Chris Rock said about being a dad. I got one job. Keep my girls off the pole. If you're a good dad, they won't end up dancers. If you're a bad dad, that's where they're headed. Jessica says, Prince Philip is Sleeping Beauty's prince. Prince Charming is Cinderella. Prince Philip. Isn't there a real Prince Philip? Is that the guy who's married to Queen Elizabeth? Queen Beth, I say. Oh, that's in the news a lot. Old Marilyn, what's her name? Markle. That ginger prince who married the D-list actress. I don't even know her name. Markle? Whatever. That chick who claims to be black for some reason. I think she's like Worf. She's a mixed blood. Anyway, she marries a prince. She makes him sell his guns and quit hunting. And then she says, "We're not gonna live in England anymore. I want to move to Canada or somewhere, and then move to America." I think they're staying in like one of the movie stars' houses. And they get on Oprah. And right away she's like, "Oh yeah, the Queen and them, they suck. You know, they're racist. They're racist against me and my boy here because we're black. Black lives matter." And you're like, wait, you're number one, your kid is whiter than your husband is. and then like everyone who ever, throws that R word around, which is actually more offensive than the N word, if you ask me. They always throw it with just a broad, "Oh, those people are racist. Somebody said a racist thing." And you're like, "Oh yeah, who said it? The Queen?" I'm not gonna say, but I'm just gonna kind of with a blanket sweep claim that the whole royal families are racists, without any kind of details. I'm not gonna say who said what. Just trust me, they're racist. I mean, like, well, yeah, you think they're going to be mad about that? I mean, I hate to defend the royal family, but I don't know. It's not being a very good daughter-in-law. Yeah, I don't think so. You shouldn't talk about your family that way, even if they are. Jessica, someone said yesterday she's looking to run for president in the U.S. Yeah, she probably will. I don't know if it was a joke, but I bet you it's true. I know Oprah wanted to run for president. Is that who you're talking about? Or Marilyn Markle? Or whatever her name is. I'm sure she didn't even take her husband's last name. Oh, I'm gonna be a princess. I'm gonna marry a prince, a real princess. And then she says she's like, "Oh, I'm like the Little Mermaid. I married a prince, and then I lost my voice." It's like, what are you talking about? You're being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. You have a voice. You're not oppressed. But it's like some women, usually feminists, they want to be right on the front lines of the oppression march. "Oh yeah, I'm oppressed too. I'm a woman of color." It's like, you're a princess, dummy. You don't get to be in this line. No, I'm a regular Rosa Parks. Yeah, okay. Meghan Markle. Thank you. Meghan Markle. What was I calling Marilyn? Meghan Markle. Meghan. And that poor Prince Henry. Because I think Meghan must have been like really cute for about 6 months there when he fell in love with her. But now she's just like this frumpy old thing in a big old house coat looking. There's something weird about her looks. And boy, talk about feeling entitled. I mean, Prince Henry, he was his mom was that Lady Di. He remembers when a paparazzi basically ran her off the road. I'm sure that guy is no fan of the press, But there he is, getting hauled out in front of the cameras again. And Oprah Winfrey, no less. And Megan's all like, hey, sister, what's up? What's good in the hood? It's a couple of billionaires. Child. Negro. Sister. Like, neither of you are black. Wisini says, a family that existed for generations by intermarriage. I know, that's gross, huh? Has a problem with an American halfie entering the bloodline? Nah, can't be. Yeah, I'm sure it's true. I'm sure they don't like it that she's not a second cousin. I'm sure they prefer it if Henry had married his brother or something. But a bunch of weirdos. But they also say you can tell a person's character by how they treat their own family. And that Megan, like, she hasn't talked to her dad since he was in the hospital, like the day before her wedding, I guess. And they have a baby now, and he's never met his grandson. You know, she doesn't care about her dad at all. You know? Oh, hey world, listen to my story. Feel sorry for me. Here, I'm going to tell Oprah how racist my in-laws are and how tough it is to be me. It's not easy to be Megan. Dapanan niwi asema. So in the Anishinaabe to offer tobacco. This would be the Ojibwe way of offering somebody tobacco. I mean, offering, somebody, or Gitchi Manadu or whoever, the spirits. But if you're going to offer, when you do this to a person, to a traditional Indian guy, he's going to expect if he accepts your tobacco, then you're set to ask for a favor. You know, lots of times you'll offer tobacco and then say, have a question or ask a favor or something. I've had friends come up and go, Otapanan niwi asema. And I'll take the tobacco and I'll be like, hey, can I borrow your car? Yeah, go ahead. Offering tobacco. Lots of times you'll see people, when they see an eagle, they'll go, hoa, and they'll offer tobacco to Gitchi Manadu. And, if you're a kid watching this in the future, you'll go, what is that? Is that eagle the Great Spirit? And it's like, well, no, not really. Eagles carry the prayers. In the same way that, like, smoke carries your prayer. If you smoke a pipe and it goes up, that's like carrying your prayers. That's why those guys often pray when they smoke pipe. Or when they, like in Dances with Wolves in the lodge, and they're sharing a pipe. They're also like praying, they're communing with spirits. But, so when you offer tobacco, it's a little gift. Oh, but you offer it to Gitchi Manadu, or to the eagle, because then when you say a prayer, the eagle takes that prayer right to the Great Spirit. So when you get to heaven, you'll see the Great Spirit. He'll be snatching eagles out of the air and be like, hello. Oh, yes. You would like to win the football game. Got it. And then they hang up the eagles because that's how they hear the prayers. That's what I was told in a vision. Hallelujah. Jessica says, I wonder if Princeton Harry is embarrassed by the stuff his wife is saying. Yeah, I bet you he is. I would be. I think Prince Westling likes the Pittsburgh Steelers. The S word. Swede. Prince Westling. Swede. Sweet. Jessica says, Prince. Yeah, I got it. Wisani, sorry, Pop. I'm a famous princess now. Yeah, I know. That's the way Megan is with her. Got no time for you now, Pop. I'm a princess. Oh, look at me. I'd have more respect for if she acted like that. If she was suddenly like a Kardashian, strutting around with like a tiara. Look at me. Like if she was like the obnoxious American princess, like has no class. Just, I'd like to see that. But not, come over and just complain about your lot in life. So Sleepy Uncle Joe gets on TV. Did you see that, sweetie? Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. Yeah, it was exciting. Our leader was addressing us. Every time he talks, it's always like he's pleading. I mean, just think about it. By July 4th, if we all come together, you might be able to have a barbecue on this Independence Day. I ain't promising. Come on, man. And then he just says nonsense, and he's clearly just reading a script that somebody else wrote. But, I don't know, it's so weird. That guy's actually president. They actually did it. Nobody really believes that guy got more votes than Trump. Did I see the new moon? Grieving Turtle asks. No, I didn't notice. Is it a skinny new moon? It's a good beginning. I'm trying to think of some way I can riff on the concept of a new moon. But I'm coming up blank. See these eyes so green, I can stare for 1,000 years, colder than the moon. Being a drawer really helped me change my opinions on the moon and the shape of the earth and all that. When it really came down to it, when like I got new information when they were talking about the perspective of like light casting, the shadow on the moon or whatever, when they're talking about the phases, that never looked right to me. I could always kind of envision what a ball would look like if the sun was shining on it and it cast a certain shadow. And also, I understood that if we were moving around the sun in one day, that the sun's perspective on the moon should change. Like every night, it should go through all the phases or whatever. But that didn't look right to me. And the sunrise and sunset, when somebody suggested that trajectory of the sun across the day was just like a perspective of a line that goes down to the vanishing point. Like when you draw a wall, or it vanishes, or like telephone wires, or a road that just becomes a point on the horizon. That all made sense to me because I'd drawn that before. I went, yeah, that's right. Ever since I was a little kid, I would look at stuff and go, wow, look, the moon is the size of my thumb. Because of perspective, So I don't know what the moon is. I don't believe it's a ball that's reflecting the light off the sun for a number of reasons. It doesn't look like that to me. I don't know. It just doesn't look like that. And I don't trust the people who say that they landed on it. And then it's, I don't know how many thousands of miles away. It's a mystery. The moon. And the sun, for that matter. A burning ball of fire in space. When they gave me a new model of that, no, it's the same size as the moon. I was like, yeah, it does seem like the same size. And there you go, lunar eclipse. That makes more sense than it's 400 times farther away and 400 times bigger, and just accidentally was the exact size and shape of the moon. So it appears like they're the same size, but it isn't. You know, everything NASA wants you to believe is like, well, don't believe what your eyes tell you. Here's a different explanation. And if you're as smart as we were, then, or as we are, then you'd agree. The sun is not, you know, you can feel the heat, but that's a whole weird thing that, you know, your senses tell you it's not that far away. That's you know, it's big compared to, you know, the size of the state, but it's not bigger than Earth. You know, it's smaller. Local. Goes away. Comes back. It's circling around us. And the moon's circling around us. Floating up there somehow. And it keeps perfect time for signs and seasons. He says, most votes of any presidential candidate. I've heard this before. Yeah, they want us to believe that Joe Biden was more popular than Trump, number one. And I know all the people went crazy over Trump can't believe, oh no, we hated him. Like, yeah. And half the country loved that guy. More popular than Barack Obama. But, okay, let me just give you a Barack Obama. The guy that every celebrity endorsed, that even white people voted for, you know, even conservatives voted for Barack just because they wanted to get like a cool young black president in there. So not racist was this country that, you know, they loved Barack Obama. They still do. But not as much as they loved Joe Biden, apparently. Joe Biden got more votes than Barack could. You know, Barack Obama had the endorsement of every famous person. And I just don't know their names anymore. But, you know, Kim Kardashian or whoever. Super popular. But not nearly as popular as Joe Biden. The pedophile, sniffing, creepy... Allegedly. If you say allegedly, you can say the worst things about anybody. You know. Hillary Clinton is a murderer. Allegedly. But yeah, the moon. So it circles around. Dibbick, Jesus. Oh, we had a nice moon yesterday, huh? In our holodeck. What do you think, sweetie? You wanna come up and say hello to the people? I could. All right. Well, everybody. Grieving Turtle says the election results are fake news. What? How dare you? If you don't trust our election results, that's un-American. I heard that on CNN. And if you can't trust CNN, who can you trust? I think Brian Seltzer's transgender. That guy, I mean, he's not a man. There's no way Brian Seltzer is an actual man, like born with a... Okay, I'll break it off here before I say something I'm going to regret. All right, here's a song so we can make the transition. By Michael and Natasha. A red house over yonder, where my baby stayed. There's a red house over yonder, where my baby stayed. I've been home to see my baby 99 and 1/2 days. Wait a minute, something's wrong. My key won't unlock this door. Oh no, I think there's something wrong. My key won't unlock this door. No more. I got a bad, bad feeling. My baby don't live here no more. Oh, that's alright, I still got my guitar to play. Show us how it's done. Lyons on the guitar. There's a red house over yonder where my baby stays. There's a red house over yonder where my baby stays. But if my baby don't love me still, well, I know her sister. If my baby don't love me still, well, I know her sister. If my baby don't love me still, I know her sister will. Hey everybody, how you doing? If my baby don't love me still, I know her sister. I know her sister will. So how you doing? How are all the ladies and the gentlemen in the house? Boozhoo, Daniel, bluesy and dirty. That's right. That's the way we are around here. Grieving Turtles got some music, some piano. It's Natasha time. Boozhoo, Daniel. And Jim Dunn's giving us a clap. Jim Dunn just gave us the clap. Nah, just kidding. You kids aren't going to even know what that is. But back in the days of the grandfathers, they used to call it the clap. So, Otapanan niwi asema. Accept my tobacco. You know what? I want to go back out in the woods. Computer, will you please end program browser.com? Yep, thank you. Computer, please end OJIBWE phrase of the day. Computer, please, you know, those are some of the inconsistencies with Star Trek. Like, we have that technology now where you can talk to the computer and the computer, like Siri, will actually answer you. And they could just, they had the technology to just, out of thin air, make cups of tea. You know, so apparently food and everything was just sort of supplied through, you know, the new technology. But for some reason, they didn't have the cure for balding. People still went bald because, you know, Jean-Luc Picard, somehow they couldn't, somehow that still eluded science in the future. There's no cure for baldness or, you know, getting fat, I guess. Will Riker got bigger every year. And so did Data. You couldn't even design a robot that wouldn't age. Anyway. So computer, please run program outside in a beautiful summer day. And where did I put that? Computer, please run. YouTube simulating.
Tons of greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gases?
Get from 51 billion tons to 0 while still meeting the planet's basic needs. That means we need to transform the way we do almost everything. My basic optimism
I don't trust him.
Climate change comes from my belief in innovation.
I think he's transgender too.
That makes me hopeful.
Here we go. Watching outside. So peaceful. Oh, I have a crazy idea. Sometimes it's good to be agua-ching because, it's really good for your spirit and your soul, and you can offer tobacco and do a ceremony, maybe commune with nature, or you can go on a run. This is never going to work in a million years because I just jinxed myself, but here we go. You know what? Maybe this is a nice time for a run. Computer, simulate running. Wait. Getting stronger. Getting stronger. Okay, that was stupid. Never mind. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, oof, that was a good run. On the depressing side streets of Bemidji. That's actually what it looks like in Bemidji right now. We have this cool idea that, hey, you know what? We should go out and film with the phone. And then we can make it a green screen thing. This is how they do it in the movies. It's like, well, it's a lot harder than it looks. La 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 la. Do 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 do. It does help to have inspiring music when you're even going for a walk. Yesterday I plugged in the old, headphones. Suggested ocean sound. I hate it when nature sends us messages like that. Oh, and just like that. But I plugged in the old headphones, tuned into Kiss Animalize. No, the Animalize live, concert or whatever. And boy, it really helped me walk. Got a good hike in. Came home, took a 2-hour nap with the cat. And now we're all out of cookies. If I do any exercises, then I feel totally justified in eating whatever I want. Well, we went on an hour-long walk. I guess we can eat any kind of cookies or... I almost ordered a pizza. Natasha, you run like a drunk person. Yeah. I totally do. Oh, man. Not that I've ever been drunk, children. Today's Sesame Street is brought to you by the letter S for sobriety. You stupid kids. Yeah, we all did it. Oh, let's all play quarters. The reason you're doing this is that you've got no social skills. It immediately makes anything you're doing unbearable. But all it does is lead to no good anything. Every problem you can possibly have of a grown-up is made 10 times worse by being drunk. Oh, I don't have enough money. Really? Try going to the bar every night, and dropping $30 a night. It adds up. Oh, I keep getting in bad relationships. Well, I have an idea. Why don't you just comb the dregs, the gutter, every greasy bar, and the kind of people who are just happen to be there at closing, you can choose one of them to be your life mate. You know, oh, I lost my job. I couldn't focus. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you go in with flu symptoms almost every morning? You know, they'll go away by the time work is done, and you can start all over and get drunk again. And this has been your Ojibwe word of the day. I don't know. Boy, it sure is beautiful, though. Well, I guess that's all we have for today. Just wanted to swing by, teach you a little. So when you go out today, if you didn't already know it, one more time, the phrase of the day. And get me out of the way. Odapanan niwi asema, accept my tobacco. Odapanan niwi asema, accept my tobacco. Or if you want to say please, daka. Daka odapanan niwi asema, gichi manadu. Please accept my tobacco. And there you go. All right, sweetie, did you want to add anything before I sign out? No, that's pretty good. All right. Well, everybody, hope you're having some wonderful Ishwa Anama E Geesh good. Hope you have a wonderful day after prayer day. And, or Nita Anoki Geesh good. First day of prayer, or first work day, is another way people call Mondays. And, we'll be back tomorrow. So, miigwech ganawabi egg. Thank you for watching Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha, and this is Nanaboozhoo, and that is Michael Lyons. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin, Minawa, Hawa. Oh, it's really pretty.